Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our 12 Tips of Christmas webinar for 2019. I would love to say that we're back by popular demand.
It's probably more like that we chose to do it ourselves. But
yes, for the third year running. Yep, it's by the by. But yeah, for those of you who don't know us, I'm Sam Norman, and I'm also joined by my colleague Amy Salt today.
Hi.
Hello. So if you haven't been to our webinars before, this is just a nice, easy wind down to the end of the year. It's a chatty approach to go through some updates and tips and things that you can look forward to in 2020 as well. As always, the webinar is being recorded and it will be uploaded to YouTube for you to listen again afterwards if you want to. House rules, of course, please ensure that you've got the GoToWebinar panel collapsed when you're not using it, just to make sure the full screen is visible. And as well, we've got Tanisha doing the questions today. If you're not familiar with her, she's a customer success manager here. So please do ask away any questions that you have. Now, just for a tiny bit of context, most of these tips are going to be globally focused, but a couple of them do centre around the UK a little bit. We are a little bit biased, of course, being from the UK branches ourselves, so do stick with us. And as well, we're going to do a couple of polls today during the webinar. We haven't done polls before, but to get things warmed up, we're going to start with a festive poll, which, as you should be able to see on the screen now, is just want to get you going. Could you give us your favourite Christmas song?
Oh, strong start.
Oh, yeah. I'm actually not surprised by the result I see on the screen there right now.
I am. It does change quite rapidly, though. Oh,
okay. Oh, maybe. Okay, well, we'll just give it a couple more seconds. But they are rolling in thick and fast here.
Oh, let's stop there because it's interesting.
Okay. All right, it's a tie at the moment, isn't it, between Fairy Tale of New York and Feliz Navidad?
26% each.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, actually. I like those two myself.
I mean, we did choose the ones to put on the...
We did. In that way, we are biased again.
Apologies.
But anyway, back to the serious stuff. So Amy's going to take you through the first 6 of the 12 tips before handing things back over to me.
Cool, thanks, Sam. So first of all, we thought an easy way in for the topics would just to be catch you up on some of the changes that have happened at TOPdesk. So the first one is you may have noticed this year a few changes in how our webinar delivery has been. We've had a lot more English content, and they're not necessarily just UK-led English webinars. Now, the reason behind that is when Sam and I started up the webinars, I think it's about 3 years ago now, we were leading the English ones and we had running alongside them the Dutch ones. As time's gone on, more branches are getting involved. Yeah. So we decided to collaborate and have a more international approach, hopefully getting in more of your ideas and obviously more content for that style.
And of course, if you do have any ideas for webinars, content that you would like to hear, then please do just suggest them to us. Get in touch.
The second thing here is just more of a nice update. So both the London and the Manchester office have found new offices this year, as well as some of our other international branches. Some of you may have been to visit already, and perhaps to see an account manager or an application manager day, which we'll talk about a bit later as well. But more exciting than that is we have launched our TOPdesk Australia branch, so they're now up and running in Melbourne as well. So it's probably not what you'd normally do on holiday, but say hi if you're ever in Australia.
Say good day. Yeah.
Good day. And lastly on this slide here, because we are growing as a company and we're getting more and more customers, we've sort of had a new stance and we're getting more and more customer success managers in our roles. Tanisha, one of those, like Sam said, who's on the questions box. But I think we currently have about 20 to 25 globally in the TOPdesk family as well.
Yeah, so quite a few of them now, and only to get bigger as well. The real need for CSMs across TOPdesk is just to make sure that we can cater for the needs of our customers better, and have a closer link between our customers and product development, but also so that we can pass on feedback to product managers and account managers, and ensure that customer satisfaction is a high level.
Yeah, exactly. So the second topic that I was going to go on in a slightly different angle would be some tech updates for you all. Nothing too groundbreaking. We are obviously launching our virtual appliance, for those of you who are on premises, will have had information already. And the idea behind this is to close the gap there between where our SaaS customers are getting continuously deployed updates versus the classic installations on premise where it's the quarterly waits. So the idea behind virtual appliance will hopefully get some of those frustrations out of the way of waiting for the releases. So what you can see on the slide there is the knowledge item 11747, and that's where you can find our latest virtual appliance release. But it doesn't yet include all of the microservices, but that's one of the aims for 2020. So another bit of tech content to add for perhaps if you've got a coffee break and you like reading through some tech blogs would be the TOPdesk tech blog itself. On the screen you should be able to see a few topics there, my favourite being the comics section that they've added.
That's very good. And if you do like comics, then there is more on Internet Explorer later, if that whet your appetite.
But from these topics you can see an idea of what content's on there. But it is good to know that not all of them are actually to do with TOPdesk. It might be to do with our approaches to testing or security, industry trends, or perhaps you want to see where we're going with our accessibility in TOPdesk as well.
Yeah.
And lastly, on the tech updates is to do with our SaaS hosting location. So this year we've made another effort to expand these. We now have data centers in the UK, the Netherlands, America, Canada, and Australia. And next year we're also launching another European Azure data center. And the reason behind this is that we obviously want to make sure we're continuously giving you the best stability and security options, and location-wise to give more customers from different areas a choice.
Yeah. So if you want to know more information, or you yourself would look to move as a customer, then please just ask us. The options are all there.
And it wouldn't be a 12 Tips Christmas webinar if we didn't do a little bit of a product update. This time I've just got two of the major updates with where we're up to now and where we're going to go in 2020. The first being the new asset management functionality. So on the screen there you can see 3 bullet points, and those are all features that have actually already been released in 2019. So if you haven't already looked at them, please do go away and have a look into the new functionality. And those are also available with information in the release notes that you have access to as customers. And what you can see on the screen now is the timeline for asset management. So you can see the main bulk in 2020. We've got reporting, logic filters, item and license management. One thing I did want to point out with reporting, if you are itching to get going with it in asset management, is the new asset management does work with external tools such as Power BI for reporting. So to fill in that gap, if you did want to already, you can start working on that. And my other main product update would be the workflows functionality. So the reason behind this, you'll see a bit of an example on the screen now, is to bring better support for enterprise service management and new modern ways of working. So with that, we're building what we're calling a new core to TOPdesk. And workflows are going to help tackle those cross-module reporting issues, some of the inconsistencies that you might have seen before between processes, but more importantly, letting that shared services approach work even better. But you can still use this in line with ITIL and other processes.
Oh yeah, we never forget about ITIL, do we?
Not when they're releasing a new update every now and again.
Yeah.
But yes, on the screen again, you can see the timeline for that, and the URL at the bottom is the new core for TOPdesk content that I was talking about. So 2020 should bring approval tasks and more self-service portal functionality, and again, working with those tasks and incidents which you might have had to play around with in labs this year. So tip number 4, this is our first one that is a little bit more UK focused, but if you are in branches from Hungary or the Netherlands and some of the others, you might be familiar with these yourselves. But this year in 2019 showed our first TOPdesk UK-led application manager days. So I think in the end we did 5 across the year.
We did, yeah.
And for 2020 we're looking at doing 8, and these will be split between both the Manchester and the London branches.
Yeah. So it's a really nice day, actually. It's just a day filled with you being able to chat with your peers and people in your network. And from the TOPdesk perspective, it's a day with consultants and our support team, where you can really just ask so many questions that you might have.
Absolutely, but they are quite in demand. It's done on a first come first served basis. There are limited places, obviously due to the size of the rooms. But what we do is when you do sign up, we ask you to choose a topic, and that means that the day is led by what the people in the room would like to know, rather than us just assuming what you might want to know about.
Yeah, so it is really useful to suggest things in advance. As well as that, we do also hope to hold our first new to TOPdesk days in the coming year. So what are they? Well, they are nice little introductory days for people who might be new to using TOPdesk, or perhaps you know that you might be hiring a new application manager for TOPdesk. Well, invite them along to these days and it'll be a gentle introduction into how to make the most out of the tool.
Absolutely, just bear it in mind if you already know your 2020 recruitment plans. Perfect, so next one we have here is to do with our integrations. So we are going to talk a little bit more in one of Sam's tips later on about our expanding ecosystem, but I thought I'd just show you some of the partners that we have taken on again this year in 2019. So the ones you can see on the screen right now are ones that are on the marketplace. I found this screenshot from there. So what I did was you go to the marketplace.topdesk.com website and you can filter those by the latest features. There are many more that we've released in 2019, but the PowerPoint slides are a little bit limited for size, so I just went for these ones. But the main thing is what we're trying to do with these now, from our point of view and with the webinars and in other content, is push as many conversations and ideas and content from the partners themselves, and we've been trying to do that this year with webinars. So you can see on the bottom a couple of examples of partner webinars that we did do this year.
Yeah, and if you do want to listen to any of the recordings for these webinars, then you can always just go to our TOPdesk YouTube channel, that's TOPdesk Webinars, or of course the TOPdesk Webinars page. All right, it is time for another poll. So this time we would like to find out how many of you guys are already using integrations, or just how many of you plan to, or plan to start thinking about it in the new year. Okay, so we've got a few results coming in now. It's just more out of curiosity for us, really, isn't it? It's just so we can pass that feedback on, or if we need to do more to push them out there, then we can always organise new webinars in the new year.
Exactly.
Give it a few more seconds.
Oh, I've got just over 2/3 have voted now.
Perfect.
Okay, so shall we wrap up there?
Yeah. Okay, so the most popular, it's just jumped to a tie again at the end there. For the second time. So the most common answers are no, but we would like to, but also no, we have no aims to.
Which is also fair enough.
Absolutely, yes. We love all feedback.
It is nice to see that a few of you are using some already as well. So I hope they're working okay. Okay, let me just close the poll down there. And my last topic for you is about C 2020. So some of you might have already attended one before, and perhaps you've received a save the date as you have signed up for updates. But it is back in 2020, and the date there you can see on the screen is 16th of June 2020 in Amsterdam.
I think the plans are for it to be bigger and better, as I hear. It's going to be a huge event, lots and lots of thought leadership, lots and lots of presentations, less about TOPdesk as a tool and more about liaising with people in your network or outside your network that you might not normally encounter, thousands of people attending. Yeah, just pushing the thought leadership element of TOPdesk rather than the software side of things.
Yes, and if you are interested, we're going to be launching the ticket sales in January 2020, I believe. But if you do go to the website at the bottom, which is c.topdesk.com, there is a form on there. So if you want to sign up so you can be kept up to date for when more information or when those tickets are launched, then fill in that form and you'll be updated as and when.
Yeah. Perfect. Thanks a lot, Amy.
Cool. Well, I'm just going to pass it back to you.
Yeah, this is my turn now to do the final 6. All right, brilliant. So the first of my tips today is all about the redesign of what was TOPdesk's extranet. It's now called my.topdesk.com or my.topdesk without the URL. So it's got a snazzy new look. I think it's fair to say it's a better reflection of TOPdesk as a brand and who we are. But if you do have any bookmarks that still exist for the extranet, then please do update them to my.topdesk.com instead. Now, we do recognise that with the changes there might be some issues, and so if you can't find anything anymore, you can just go to the I have a question tile, or there is a knowledge item as well. That's knowledge item 11907.
You also get a sneak preview there of our internal tile, which isn't seen that often with customers.
No.
Fun fact for you is all of the pictures you can see on the screen are actually taken internally at TOPdesk. We recently had a photography team come over, and we did some pictures in the UK. So we learned a bit about how they're done behind the scenes. So there's a little sneak preview of one from David, who's the Manchester branch manager, which is quite a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Next tip that I'm going to take you through, so tip number 8, is all about TOPdesk Mobile. So it's having a bit of an overhaul. The Operators Mobile installable web URL application. So it's a progressive mobile interface, which is going to be released to you guys soon. And if we just start off my next slide, then you'll be able to see what it will look like when it is released. What can it actually do though? So in this minimum viable product, which we plan to release soon, you can filter out your calls based on the branch or the assignee. And then within Instant Management, you can take a look at your call details and locations. And as you can see there on the screen right now, you can take pictures and attach them into tickets. And that should be released in Q1 of 2020, so do look out for it very soon.
I believe as well that in Q2 2020 is when they're going to start looking at doing operational activities in the mobile app, which I know will be really useful for some of you customers that are frequently doing PPMs and operational activities out and about mobile style.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for that as well.
Yeah, brilliant. And you can already test it out now. If you're using TOPdesk SaaS, we will send out a link as to how you can do that when we send out the email after the webinar.
Yeah, so the URL at the bottom there is where you can find more information if you're excited to do it right this second.
As excited as we are, yeah. Okay, so for the next tip, there's a bit of an alt tab involved. I'm going to take you through some of the TOPdesk built features, which you may or may not be aware of that exist on the marketplace. These are little add-ons which we make to offer an enhanced TOPdesk experience to our customers. First one I'm going to take you through is one-click call. This used to be called one-click tally, so you may be familiar with it. Really good for repetitive incidents that you get asked all the time, like someone asking you for directions, and things you might not have logged before, but it's good to keep track of. It's good to see, okay, how much time do I actually spend on that? Well, you can do it in just the one click by setting up these tasks, and then this neat little feature will set that up, log the call in one click, and then close it down for you as well. The second one is about TOPdesk Webshop. This is not the web shop as you may know it already. So when you're ordering items, there is already an interface available, but this one is more of a drag and drop designer. It looks really nice, and you can really customize it to your own organization. We do have some videos actually on these screens as well for the purpose of today. I'm not going to show you them, but please do check them out and have a look if you want to see these in action.
Yep, and the next one there is the maintenance board. So for those of you that are really interested in operational activities and PPMs, perhaps you've already got loads of them scheduled, then this is probably the one for you. So we've created a nice little add-on which lets you quickly filter your tasks, which hopefully you've been watching on the screen there.
And for the final one, it's about TOPdesk Asset Audit. Now, this is a quick and easy way just to make sure that your CMDB is all up to date. So you can upload your CSV files into there of your assets, and this feature is going to tell you whether or not any of them have failed or if you've got any errors in the file. And so you can sort those out really quickly and easily.
So hopefully you think these sound really useful. It is important to note though that these are paid add-ons. Now, hopefully these ones aren't going to break the bank. But just bear that in mind if you are planning anything in for the new year. Perhaps now's a good time to sweet talk your finance department.
Absolutely. A little Christmas gift, maybe. I don't know. All right, So next thing I want to talk you through is about one of the campaigns that we're going to be running and that we already are running in some of our branches. So we plan this year to run the Running Like Clockwork campaign, which is for citizen support. So a lot of local government and councils are already using TOPdesk to support not only their employees, but also their citizens as well. So actually, in our Belgian branch, over 20 customers are already doing this. And they're achieving this by using a combination of open forms, but also integrating with different software that lets you identify like locations of where calls are coming in from, just so you can really go out and resolve any of those issues for citizens. So if you are interested, or you know anyone that might be, please do get in touch with us.
Perhaps suggest it to your local council or municipality if you think TOPdesk could do a better job.
Yeah, I feel like TOPdesk could do a better job than mine.
Definitely mine.
Yeah.
Different story.
Anyway, moving on. So the next thing we want to tell you about, as promised earlier on, is about Internet Explorer going end of life soon. To remind you that we will be cutting support for Internet Explorer 11. If you're on SaaS, that will be on the 1st of March 2020, coming around soon. But if you're using TOPdesk on-premise, it will be the first release after that date. This is just so that we can continue to ensure our software is safe and supported correctly.
Absolutely, and we do have a dedicated web page about this as well, which again we'll send out when we do send out the recording to you after the webinar. Yeah. Our final poll is a little bit of a debate settler. Sam and I had a conversation when we were setting up this webinar, because I was actually quite surprised that many people would still be using Internet Explorer in their organizations.
Yeah.
So out of interest, we thought it would be interesting to see what the main or most prominent browser you are using in your organizations is.
I mean, I personally like Chrome.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, yeah. Just to mention as well, so we would recommend as an alternative using either Chrome or Edge, just because these two browsers do have an enterprise feature that you can roll out across your organization. Ooh, okay. Interesting results.
I've been proved wrong.
All right, we'll leave it a few more seconds.
We'll leave it a few more seconds and hope that I'm not
because it is changing again. Yeah, it's like people are toying with our emotions here, just coming in at the last minute. It has changed just in the last couple of seconds.
Right, I'm going to leave it there because that's good for me. So the majority of you are using Chrome.
Yes,
it's good to see from my point of view.
But it was very close, and Internet Explorer was used a lot as well.
We do have 41% Chrome and 39% Internet Explorer.
Yeah, and 0% other.
Yes, 0%.
All right. So for our final tip today, we're going to talk about 2020 and beyond. So there are 3 things that we're going to do or promising to do in 2020 that we're going to prioritize for our customers. So we'll just talk you through them now. The first of these is reduce concepts to speed up development. What do we mean by that? Well, we want to ensure that when we develop features, we're just doing it once and not having to redo work over and over again for different functionalities, which will ensure that we can push out features faster to you guys.
Yep. And for the ensure healthy customer experience, luckily for you, we're not taking up lifestyle coaching, but when we talk about healthy, we're actually referring to the performance, the stability, and the user experience that you get when you're using TOPdesk. So hopefully global latency is going to decrease, which was really important for us when we were setting up that Australian branch and perhaps for future expansion into Asia. But also your day-to-day experience will improve. Another side of this is we're aiming to finish the new asset management module by the end of the year and push it out to as many other new features with those to you as well. But as always, please do check out the roadmap if you're interested in what's coming up next.
Yeah. And finally, expanding our ecosystem offerings. So that's going to start with ensuring that our APIs are bigger and better than they already are. There's going to be a focus on knowledge management in this coming year. But also on top of just the API increased usage, we want to offer more partnerships and integrations for TOPdesk as we continue to expand that ecosystem wider and wider.
And if you are interested in any more information on these 3 topics or anything else we're up to, coincidentally, one of our colleagues, Tom, posted a blog earlier on this week, I believe.
Yeah, so if you just head to the link on the screen there now, that's our TOPdesk blog, then you'll be able to find out more updates. So that's it for our 12 tips this year. I'm going to take you through a brief recap now, just to present to you guys what we've done again today. So one of the first things that we did was talk about product updates. I know that's a big point of interest for a lot of you guys, and so we wanted to try and tell you what's coming in the next year. So we covered things like the Workflows project and where that's going to be heading, and also talked about TOPdesk Mobile as well in a bit more detail. We're also talking about some big events and campaigns to come within the new year. We've looked at some TOPdesk integrations and built features by us, which you can find on the marketplace. And finally, what's going to be coming up in 2020.
But for now, all we really want to say is thank you for attending, and the webinars throughout the year as well. And if you do have any questions, you have our contact details on the screen there.
That image is from our Christmas party last year. It is an outtake image. We do have some nicer ones as well, but we thought we'd share that with you in the spirit of Christmas.
Real insight into the faces behind the screen.
Behind the webinars, yes.
But yeah, we will be sending a short survey out when you close the webinar panel down. Please fill it in if you have the time, just to help us improve where we're going with the webinars. But other than that, Merry Christmas and enjoy the break.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Thanks a lot. Bye.